Pause. Yeah. Wanji. Bulungi ogamba otya? Wanji. Mbadde nina bye ndi mukola ssaawa eno. Pulaani kika kyakaliwo? Kutuma? Ndi okay. Ndi okay. Ndi okay. Mbadde nina bye ndi mukola katono. Yo guys, what's you doing? I hope you're doing fine. I have my friend there. Today, I felt like telling a story, but today was a really hard day. Most times, if it's a Sunday, it gets a little bit tricky. Why does it get tricky on Sunday? It is because on Sundays, sometimes I have to wash Tyler's uniform, then we have to cook, then we have to do a lot of things. So today was kind of a busy day. I had to wake up a little bit early in the morning to wash his uniform faster. Then immediately after washing it, I had to cook. Yeah. So again, immediately after cooking, of course, we had to go buy the food somewhere. So I was there thinking, and I'm like, should I do a live? Because at night we are going to be a little bit busy. We are going to be on another live. We are going to be on Governor AC podcast. That is on TikTok, yeah. And I felt like sharing some story if at this time before it gets a little bit late. So I was like, why not? Maybe we can have a simple chat like for an hour. I don't know if we can go an hour, but if we can go an hour, then that would be beautiful. So I'm going to tell you some story, but this one you're going to like how I survived. And of course, most of the people didn't even know. It is going to be a long one. Yeah, let me tell you, the time when I decided to be with Tyler, yeah, it was really chaotic, very chaotic, because I think for the people who have been following, I've been telling you this story a couple of times, but I'm going to tell you how I survived, yeah. And it is very important, guys. One thing you have to know is that no one is coming to save us, right? Some of those things, by the way, I keep telling you, I learned them. I think I learned them in the 3 years, solid 3 years when I decided to keep in. Yeah, I kept in, I think, for 3 years. 3 years, yeah. I kept in, and that's the time. And I always tell my friends that you should get time. I call it the me time. You should get the me time, and that me time is really very important. It is the one that really decides our future. It is the one that is going to help you, mold you, to have a clear sense of your future, or you will fail from there. Why? When I kept in and when I was having that alone time, yeah, a lot of things happened. Just like I was saying yesterday, I told you that of course no one is coming to save us. So if we know and we learn that no one is coming to save us, so it is up to us. So some of these things I really didn't know. I really didn't know because I was in a crowd. I was always with people, very many people, you know. I was surrounded with friends. Okay, I was surrounded with people I call friends. So I thought that's how life was supposed to be. But when everyone left, yeah, when everyone left, now the reality started hitting in. When everyone left, do you know that you're there and you have like 1,000 of friends? You receive calls like over 30 calls a day, 40, 50 a day. And you think basically that's how life is supposed to be. And I thought everything was doing okay. But when everyone left, which is a good thing, sometimes it is good to let people go, yeah. If you let people go and you get your alone time, yeah, the alone time, let me tell you, that is the most important. Some of the people don't get it. Sometimes we are with people that we call maybe friends, and you cannot separate between colleagues with friends, and then friends with maybe workmates. Sometimes it gives us hard time to differentiate those two. So now me, when I go to the alone time, which I really pray everyone gets that alone time. That alone time is very important because it gives you a sense. You start thinking about you in reality. There are the times when we are thinking about things and we are not being real with ourselves. Yeah. We are not being real. I don't know if you understand that. You think about things and you are not being real to yourself. So when I got the me time, and which took 3 years, 3 years is quite long. Me, sometimes when I really want to think about something carefully, yeah, sometimes I sleep on the floor. I don't know, but sleeping on the floor and trying to oppress yourself, yeah, you try to push yourself so hard. That's why the people who go, like in all religions, yeah, you've noticed people go for they do fasting. Sometimes they do, I don't know how they call that when they go to those places, they call it Kulamagaya. You go somewhere, some people go to prayer mountains, then they fast, they take time minus eating nothing. Yeah. When you take time minus eating nothing, some people sleep on the floor, not on their beds. If you have a very good, nice, comfortable bed and you don't sleep there, you sleep on the floor. Sometimes when you push your body so hard, you start you start thinking straight. Have you noticed that when you're hungry, and you've not taken anything, yeah, and you're really, really hungry, you start thinking straight? Have you thought about that? Have you ever experienced it? So that thing is very, very important. So when I got the me time, which took 3 years, I started realizing some of the things. I discovered a lot of things that the things I discovered in that period, I think it would take me like 10 years or 15 years just to learn those things. And guess what? It's not that someone was talking to me, no, but that me time, that now I can understand when someone decides to be alone. Now we've been alone, me and Tyler, for quite a long period of time, but I'm not complaining. Why? Because I've learned, the chaos you would be in when you're out there, when you're inside there, at least most of, those, the negative, the people who are negative, those spiritual things, they don't really get to you. Why? Because you're alone. If I'm out there and maybe I'm clubbing and people create chaos, then you'll be among them. So you'll be gods, all together. But when you are alone and you get the me time, which me took me 3 years, I saw some guys and they were saying sometimes you're supposed to have like 6 months, yeah, when you're in there and you're having the me time. And the me time is very important. You discover things about yourself when no one has talked to you. I discovered a lot of things. I discovered that validation isn't that really important. I discovered that, the people that we surround ourselves, and sometimes we think that ones who will help us, yeah, they are not there. Because when I started staying with Tyler, remember, he was my first son, yeah? He was my first son. Now he's only 1 year old. And I I felt like maybe the people I took as family, yeah, I thought they were going to be there for me 100%. Again, the things and the way how I predicted everything would be is not how basically it worked out. So that was very, very important. Why? Because now I got to see the world in a different way. Me, I grew up being the last born, yeah. You always know your elders. More so when it comes to sisters, they will always have your back. If you have parents, sometimes you feel like, that's why when something happens to some people, they're like, Mommy. That is the first name they call, Mommy. Yeah, when anything happens, they're Mommy. Even when their mom is 100, kilometers, a thousand kilometers away. It is the first person, they think about. So now I came to realization that, no one is going to come to save us. The way how I thought things would be wasn't really the way they were really moving. Do you know when you're there and you feel like at any point you will have someone to call? Now that mentality is really, really, really bad. If you're there and you're like, I can make a phone call and maybe this can go away, that can go away. When you realize that it is you who is supposed to save yourself, then things change. Yeah. Things change. Now you get to trust yourself before you can trust anyone. Me, I always trusted people because when you're working and having a job like the one I was having, basically people are all over you. There will be someone to help you clean here. There will be someone to help you, get what you support. There will always be someone to help you here and there. I learned that's not how things work. So now, in that time, I went through what I call depression. Most of the people here, they say in Africa, it is always very hard for someone to go into depression, but these things really happen. I've seen a story on TikTok. They were a brother and a sister, and they were twins, yeah, but it's a brother and a sister. But they both died. The girl, I think they went into an argument, and then the girl got pissed and was so angry. And what happened was to get a knife and then, stab the other one. Before you know it, the boy is dead. And he was like in his 20s. You can imagine, in his 20s. Then the boy died. When the boy died, the girl felt bad because he's a twin. She felt bad because she's the one who stabbed a twin brother. And when the boy died, I think the girl also she felt really bad. And what happened is she also committed suicide and also died. So those things of depression, anxiety, people really face them more so in this. Have you noticed when it is so hot, yeah, if the climate is so hot, the crime rate is high. It is not by mistake. Yeah, people go through crazy, crazy things. So, me, the 3 years I spent when I was alone, let me tell you, I discovered a lot of things that even if someone sat me down to talk to me, I wouldn't understand some of these things. So that's why sometimes I feel like everyone has to go through that process. Have you noticed that sometimes there is nothing good that can happen unless something bad happens? Sometimes we feel bad because of the bad things that have happened to us. And it is through those bad things that have happened to us that now we start thinking a little bit out of the box. One thing I've learned, and I've really, really learned, is that no one is out there who is watching my back. And the earlier we all get that no one is watching our backs, the better. Do you know why? Because each time you think that someone will come and save you, then you give it time. Yeah, you're like, some of the things you would have done yourself, you're like, someone will come and help me, and they will not show up at that time when you need them. I got it a hard way. I got it a hard way because this time I thought, these guys will be there for me. These guys will be there for me. They will do anything for me. These guys will not do nothing for you. Even the friends you take as friends. Have you noticed that you could have friends if you're either going to clubs and partying, people will be there. They will be there. You go to clubs. They will be willing. There is a day I cannot forget. Yeah, I had a friend, and I think he made up to like 12 millions. Yeah, when he made 12 millions, he suggested we go out and party, to go to a club and party. I was like, we cool. So now when we reached the club, I noticed the guy was drinking too much. We were spending like crazy. And then I talked to him and I'm like, man, I think we are spending a lot, but do you think tomorrow we are safe? I think we should save some money and maybe tomorrow we will use that money for breakfast and then lunch. He's like, nah, we are going to party until all this money is out. Seriously, we use all the money. And the next morning, because they were staying at my place, and we didn't have nothing to eat. But the previous day we had 12 million and we spent all of it in one night. But I talked to him, I'm like, man, tomorrow we might reach and we don't have nothing to eat and we'll be having hangover. And he was like, no, today is partying. Tomorrow will take care of itself, man. We reached the next day and we didn't have nothing to eat. It was really crazy. So I've learned that they are people, even when you have friends, it is, I don't know. Sometimes I sit down and I think, and I'm like, maybe I have grown. You know, if you start growing, sometimes I'm like, I think the mentality changed because now being intentional, just like how I always tell you guys, that there is nothing right now I can do if I don't know the results or the repercussions that are going to come out of it. So now, how did I survive that moment? Now, I knew that, you know what? Now there is no help. No one is coming to save me. I admitted. And remember, before all this happening, because me, I'm strategic, I got to know, I knew that at a given point, I'm going to be at my lowest. I knew, I definitely knew. Because I remember I used to tell Tyler's mom that, you know what, sometime is coming, hard times are coming. I told her, hard times are coming, and they are coming very soon. One of my sisters, again, I used to tell her, hard times are coming. So when I noticed that hard times are coming, I started being intentional. That now the people surrounding me, the ones I knew that they would be there for me, I was like, let me support them in one way or the other. So that when the hard times come, at least I'll be having someone, you know, I'll be having someone to support me because I supported them. But I knew, and I knew that time wasn't very far. Could sleep and I could always think, I think it is happening tomorrow. I think it's happening the next day. I think it's, so I tried to, you know, like when they tell you like you're going to die, like a given month, there is a way how you will start clearing your life. Yeah. There is a way how you will do things like you're living. So it is the same thing I started doing, but it all backfired. All of it backfired. Even the friends I thought they would be there, all of it backfired. So now, that thing I tell you that you're supposed to have the alone time, that is the only thing that saved me. Now, the alone time, I got to think about all these things. At a given point, by the way, I'm telling you, I I was with my son. We were in how do we call it, in the sitting room. I looked at him and I started crying. I started crying. I was like, now how am I going to do this? Because now I had really admitted, yeah, there is no help. No one is coming to save you. And this is this is your baggage you're supposed to carry. I was in that seat in the sitting room and I was looking at my son and I'm there and I didn't have next. I cried. I cried and I was alone. But when all this stuff were happening to me, now I was getting a little bit sharper. So that's why I would say I've had phases in my life, like 3 phases in my life. But this kind of phase I'm in, I think I'm loving it. How I survived it all, and they all didn't know. Because when each one of them left me, basically, to me, what I think was they wanted to see me fail to zero. And yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked it worked. I admit it worked. But now that really made me a little bit stronger. Right now, if anything happens, yeah, if the worst of the worst really happens, I am so used to the worst happening to an extent that it no longer scares me. Nothing, I'm telling you right now, scares me. The worst thing that can happen in life to a person like me is my son die. Yeah. But even that doesn't scare me. Even that, you know, when a human being loses their kid, I've seen the kids who died. Yeah, I think they were in capture, and I saw people cry. But now I'm so trained to an extent that even that doesn't scare me. You know, when you reach at that point, then you get to know that now you know what, yeah, you've moved a step. But when you haven't gone through some of these things, then it will be very hard for you to cope up, because if something strikes you, then you're doomed, because it gets you unaware, and because you were not prepared for it, it hurts you the most. But now, even if the worst thing ever happens to me, the worst thing that could ever happen to me is maybe my son, anything bad happened to my son, it would be the worst. But guess what? I've also trained myself that even if my kid, I wake up early in the morning and he's dead, it does not move me even an inch. You see? Now, how did that even happen? Now it is during that time when everyone left And even the people I thought maybe would be there for me, they were not there for me. So now I started changing. I started training myself. Like now it is survival for the fittest. And of course, no one is coming to save you. So now I started being intentional. That's where I learned that thing I keep telling you, being intentional. I read a lot. I read a lot. I watched a lot of podcasts. I started being intentional. So that's why all this thing of being intentional comes from, because that's those 3 years were really hard, really, really hard. And I was just learning everything. So now it trained me. He trained me that now I know how to run everything myself. With or without anyone, I can do it. That's why sometimes I can be in here with my son and we spend like the whole weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, till Monday when he's going back to school. And it's just been only us. So now that's where, because I went through all that, it molded me. It taught me a lot of things. And everyone, I just pray everyone has to go through that process, because if you don't go through that process and everything has been smooth to you, yeah, you can now not differentiate between where you've come from, where you are, and where you're going. It will be very hard for you because you've not gone through some phases. Some people grow up and they've reached it in their 30s and they've not gone through some phases. And how life works is the foundation. The foundation is really very important. That's why right now I really appreciate people who are older than me. When someone who is older than me comes and tells me anything, it just doesn't matter what they are telling me. As long as they are older than me, that means they've gotten more experience than me. So if someone tells me, you want to start up a business, I think you should do this. By the time they tell me, I would think about it. I wouldn't say they are wrong. Right now, me, if someone tells me anything, for some reasons, I don't want to argue to win. For some reasons, I want to listen and I understand. And I'm like, why is he or she thinking like that? I give it time. Them times I wasn't, I always thought I was intelligent. But now when I went through that phase, which was the hardest and which I really want everyone to go through, it makes your brain clearer. The people you think were what they were and not what you basically think. Have you noticed? The world has become so crazy. I've seen mothers do the craziest things to their daughters, to their sons, and they do the craziest things. And you're like, a parent cannot do this. So now when you get to know, that's why I was watching someone and I was saying that if you really want to go far, yeah, they always say, if you want to go far, move with people, but it is very important sometimes, if you know in your future you're there alone and it is only you to save yourself, things change. I'm telling you, things change. Things change. Your mentality changes. So me, in those 3 years, a lot of things happen. And as I told you yesterday, when trouble starts coming, yeah, when problems start coming, it doesn't come one. You get this problem, then this problem. They come in a bunch. They come at once. It is not one at a time. No, they come so many back to back, so many back to back. But the beauty in it is that it trains you. That's why it is very hard if someone came from the streets and they tried to make it. Such people, you should better watch out for them, because most of the people will be waiting for them to fail. Such kind of people will not fail. Do you know why? Because they know where they came from. So the mere fact that they are where they are and they never even dreamt of being there, it will be very hard for them to go back. But when someone has had a soft life also, everything has been like this, when trouble comes, it can break them. It can finish them. But if God helps you and you go through those phases, now me, I went through those phases and I was with Tyler. So there is a way I value. I used to be on tension. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Have you ever been there and each time you're thinking like something bad is going to happen? Have you ever been there and you're like, you're on tension? It's like something bad is going to, it's like you're working under pressure. It is very, you're working and you don't know why you feel scared and you feel, But me, I was feeling like that because I was taking responsibility that I has never thought about, and I never thought about me being alone. Taking care of a 1 year old alone and no support system. I've never thought about it. I never thought that it would even ever happen. But now it has come. Business is down, no job, no next. It was scary. But maybe the creator, whoever is up there, I don't know, maybe he was preparing me. Right now, you can imagine the tension that I used to live with. I don't have that tension. And thank God we don't get sick. But I don't live under that tension now. I know we are supposed to wake up, Tyler. Yes, we wake up, brush the teeth, clean up. After cleaning up, go to school. After I come back, I've cooked food. It is now a routine that I'm used to. So breaking me would be, you would really need to do something, something huge. There's a time when I used to tell my friends that, I've gone through a lot of things. I've lost a lot of people I like, that right now there is no one you can tell me is dead and I really feel so bad. Nah. You cannot tell me someone has died and I feel, oh my goodness. Even the kids that have died, yeah, you have to sympathize with their parents, but it's not something that will break me. Yeah. So now, because I told this person, you cannot tell me if I lost my mom, if I lost my dad, and they are all gone. You've lost everything. Again, you went through phases, and it is hustle, hustle, hustle. So now you reach a time and you're unbreakable. There is nothing right now, because now those 3 years, yeah, I think it was intentional. I think God wanted me to go through that phase, which I really want everyone to go through. That phase was really hard, but only one thing, by the way, helped me. Each time I could see my son doing good, I could feel nice. Each time I could read and then have that me time. Sometimes I could sleep on the floor. I have that time. So each time I used to have that, then it was like training. And mental training is that, you can do this physical training. Yeah, you get weights and then you carry, you want to be fit. Yeah, that is physical. It somehow helps you also mentally. But if you train your brain, then the rest of the things will be easy. Even getting sick, people get sick because they are, me, sometimes I tell them they are mentally not strong. Me, I tell myself I don't get sick. I just tell myself that I don't get sick. And I know Tyler doesn't have to get sick. And it is just like that. And we don't get sick. We don't get sick. There are things that can happen. There are times when, let me say, we are sober, and I'm like, you know what? I want this, and I want this. I give it even a time frame, and I'm like, between 2 weeks, I want to have gotten this amount of money. I don't know how it is going to happen, but because I've focused my mind on it, and I believe in the universe, I swear, I'm not lying to you guys. Things happen. Things just happen. So if you train your mind, why do you agara ku sabai? Ogenda. Kufuna ki? Bangambye wabadde ovuga speed luli nnyo 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 nnyo. Waliwo eyangambye wabadde ovuga speed nnyo. Waliwo eyangambye kankufunire ebisunzo naye waliwo eyangambye wabadde ovuga speed nnyo, ovuga speed nnyo. So at the end of the day, guys, if you train your mind, our mind is that's why we have to be intentional with what we even feed it. Our mind is it's more stronger than even us, our mind. You see, someone might be paralyzed, yeah, but because they have a strong mind, they would heal a little bit faster. Why? Because they are using their mind. Their mind is strong. So me, I learned that thing and I'm like, oh, okay. So when all that stuff happened and people abandoned, by the way, people just didn't abandon because everyone, just like how I told you, everyone wants someone who is winning. So if you're not winning, don't think people will come and they would like to hang out with you. No, everyone wants to associate with winners. If you're not winning, no one basically wants to associate with you. No. So you have to make sure in every way possible you win. And when you win, then they will come back. But now, because I've gone through all those phases, whether I win, whether I lose, everything happens with me. So I'm not answerable to anyone. I'm not going to look for help from anyone. Let me give you an example. You see those dogs of mine there? Hmm? You see them? Now, my mind, I well know it is supposed to be me to feed them. Minus me feeding them, no one is going to feed them. So their care and everything is up to me. If I don't get food for them, no one will get them food. So now what happens? I take all the responsibility, and now I take the initiative of them being okay. So now it is the same thing also in life. Like, man, me, I learned a lot of things. Now, me, even if someone promises me something, I don't 100% rely on them. Clear, eh? Naye breaks zikola nnyo wandisoose n'osooka okuggulawo wali. So at the end of the day, no one is there who is going to save me. It is me and me alone. If they ask me, who is your, they always told us, who is your backup plan, yeah? And they are like, just in case. And they're like, just in case you're in trouble, who is that first person you're supposed to call? Yeah, I have a person I can call, like my sister. But again, I'm not supposed to rely on her 100%. Because she also has a life, she has a family. So I had to train myself. By the way, I helped myself, and what really helped me a lot was mentally. Yeah, everything happened here. Like, I trained myself, I got to learn the reality of life. Some of these things they used to tell us, but I could not understand. But now I understand better, you know. Okimanyi bw'otuulako ebatezitowa nnyo than ng'oli bw'oti. Woba otuddeko ebeekwanguyiza. I have this friend of mine. He's borrowed a bike. Let me show you. Yeah, he's there. He's borrowed the bike, but that thing can tend to be very, very heavy. He's borrowed it, but it can be very, very heavy. So back to the point. So I trained myself, yeah, and some of these things we learn in a hard way. We learn in a hard way. Like it's like when someone has been with their parents, yeah, and you've been with your parents like till you make maybe 30 years, you go into your 40s and your parents are still there. You've spent a lot of time being with them. So if God forbid they die, it hurts a lot than someone who lost them when they were still young. Yeah. So because these ones got used, so now when it happens when you're grown, it hurts the most. It's like being in a relationship, maybe husband and wife, then you're married like 20, 30 years, you're married, you've had kids, and then one of you dies. Oh my god, it hurts the other person the most. So what has to help you is your mind. And me, that's when I learned the power of the mind. By the way, the power of the mind is very, very important. When I was in that situation I'm telling you about for the 3 years, I learned those things. And when I learned these things, I was like, okay, this is beautiful. I learned the power of mind. That I have friends I've been with. I have one of my friends, for him, he admitted, yeah, he admitted things have failed. Me, I don't admit that things have failed. I never. I'm just a little bit stuck, but I know the next. I have the next. It could not be now or tomorrow, but definitely this will happen. If you get such kind of mentality, if you have dreams, yeah, and you're like, this will happen. So even when I was at my lowest, I knew I will get out. Sometimes I don't know how, but if you have trained your mind, let me tell you, there is nothing impossible. And as long as you are patient, most of the people are not patient. Most of this AI generation, people are not patient. People are not patient. People want things to work there and then. People want faster things. They want to go on internet and then they're asking, how can I get rich in 1 year? How can I do this in 2 years? That is very, very dangerous. Yeah. Very, very dangerous. Overnight. And you're doing something with your life overnight. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That is really, really very bad. That's why I heard one of the respected people saying that if you're in your 30s, you can never be rich. You can never be rich in your 30s. And I thought about it and I was like, maybe he's true. In your 30s, we are just trying out things in our 30s. So because now you train your mind and you're like, okay, I want this. If you have dreams, yeah, but doing things overnight, just like how most of the youths want it right now, they want everything overnight. Let me tell you something. If you woke up early in the morning, most of the people getting accidents on the roads globally, you will notice that there are kids between the age of maybe 15 to like even even 35. Why? Because when they get their first car and maybe they did not work for it, it was a present, it was a gift, maybe they got money somewhere, they didn't work for it, and then they buy their first car. What happens is they don't have value attached to anything. So because they don't have value attached either to their property or to their cars, and they don't feel they hustle, to have acquired what they have, they less value it. And because they less value it, they will drive like crazy people. That's why most of the people say when they see someone driving really wrongly, I was telling the guy who was here, they told me you are driving really crazy on my bike because it is not his. So he doesn't attach value to it. Me I attach value to it. It's my bike. I know how I got it. It is the transportation I only have. So now, if I take it for granted, it will get spoiled. So I have to take good care of it. So now, if someone was in their 30s and, just like that, they've gotten a car, they will drive really crazy because they don't have attachment and they don't have value attached to it. So that's why it will be an easy come, easy go. That's why when parents sometimes die and they leave property to their kids easily sell. Why? Because they don't add value to what they have because they have been just gifted or just given. So that's very important that it is beautiful. Now with me, I've always wanted to do streams, yeah? And I'm on my journey to doing streams. And it's been like 7 years preparing to do streams, yeah? But if someone finds me, or if you see other creators, I'm giving an example, and they are doing things, you could find someone doing really beautiful, nice stuff, and you're like, because they are doing it, I'm also going to do it, but you don't know their background. That's why most of the time I say, the foundation is really important. There is a day I was at home somewhere before I came here, and then some guys came to visit me. When they came to visit, there were like six of them. They came at night. They came like at around 9 at night. Then they were there past midnight. There were like six of them. They were my childhood friends. So when they came, there was this other guy. It was my first time to see him. After them visiting, we were there. Of course, we had some pretty nice time. Then they left. Then this guy called me and he was like, "Hi, Anderson, something really surprised me with you." And I'm like, "What is it?" Then he's like, "Man, I couldn't believe you were with your son." And by then, I think it was like 3. I was like, "Yeah, I've been with him since he was 1." He's like, "Man, I felt good. Like, how do you do it?" And I'm like, I don't know, but I figured it. I just figured it out. I didn't know how, but I figured it out. And he's like, man, that thing was nice. I also have a daughter, but the daughter stays with my grandma, you know. And now he was telling me stories. And for him, when he came, because I had a bigger studio than this one here, it was a bigger studio. There were beautiful stuff because there was a lot of space. But among everything he saw at my place, it was just me being with my son. And it really perturbed him. And he was like, how did you do it? We became friends with the guy. He later came back. So now you'd find someone when, let me say, Tyler is 10 years, and they're like, you know what? I'm also going to start staying with my kid. But you don't know how this happened. Yeah. You find someone dealing in poultry, you find someone, selling clothes, they are doing farms, and for you, because you've seen what they are doing, now you also basically want that. But now you don't know what they've gone through behind the scenes. A lot of things were happening behind. They were trying and failing. Yeah, because me, I want to do streams. But guess what? Before streaming being my ultimate, what I love the most, remember, I started from TV. I did those things of TV hosting. We started off, they were not recording us when we were doing those stuff on TV. What most of the people don't know is that we went straight on lives. Most of the people, when you go into production and TV hosting, most of the times you start by recording, then they have to do editing. We skipped that stage and they took us straight to live stream. So they could come, they are like, you know what you're going to talk about? Yeah, okay, you're good, okay, you're on set. 1, 2, 3, go. And you're in a national TV, really. So there was no space for mistakes. Now we did that for all those years. Then time reached where we had to edit, where we had now to use our cameras. We reached a point like you go to the field, you're the camera person, you're the presenter, you're the editor, you're the producer. You get. So again, we did that for a long time. Then we reached a point and you're like, you know what? Let me put up a simple studio at my place. Then I can do these things. Remember, you could edit, you could produce, you could present, you could basically do everything. You could write a script. So you see, so someone will see the end result of maybe streaming or whatever, but they don't know the background. Now, for them, they would not have gone through all that process. Let me tell you, will not be as that person you've seen and you really want to be like them or you want to do what they're doing because they have a strong foundation. Me, I would know what would go wrong to any live stream. I would know. And I know there is a day when we were working on TV, and remember that is mainstream. So it's a national TV. Everyone in Uganda is watching. And the machine failed. The control room, the machines just froze. Now, the machines froze like at around 6. At 6, I was supposed to be done. Yeah, done with the show. Done. You close up. Now the machines froze. And you know what? The CEO came and told me, keep on. He was like, keep on, keep on. We had to talk up to 8, from 6, 7, 8. And you know what the machines could not do? The machines could not bring in any video. They could not bring in adverts. They could not play music. The machines had froze. But whatever was on TV could keep on. So they had to close everything to fix them. So we were on TV unplanned for 2 hours. Now, remember at 7, that's when, in Africa, most of the people in Africa, they have their news at 7. So we went to 7. So now that's the time for news. We worked, we talked until 8. News that day didn't air because the machine had gone down. So I know what would happen. So if someone does stuff on script, they wouldn't have nothing to say. Do you know what it means? And they tell you machines, we used to have these things here. the earphones so they could talk to you. They're like, oh man, I Anderson, please don't leave. The machines are dead. Just keep talking. And you're talking on a national TV where everyone is watching. Now it is 7. 7 is always the premium time. Yeah. It is the premium whereby everyone is ready, sitting. And by then we did not have a lot of social media. TikTok, I think, was not yet there. Facebook was there, yes. TikTok, then some of these other apps have just come through. And the guy tells you, keep talking. So now, by the time we come up, and someone is seeing your ultimate, they don't know that you built a foundation. You know what can go wrong, and you know what you're supposed to do when such a thing happens. So sometimes it is good. I've kept saying that if someone donates to me, I would be happy, yes. But it is very bad. The last campaigns that happened, I have a friend of mine, things are not working out good for him, yeah. So he doesn't have his rent, they're pushing him out of the house. So he called me and I told him, even if someone gives you rent for the next 2 months, let me tell you, if you don't have where to get your income, the same thing will happen. What you have to do is to get where you could get some money, and you're very sure at least every month you're getting some money out of there, either every month or daily or weekly. Now you're building a system. And when you build, now most of the things I'm telling you, I learned 3 years ago. Most of the things, and that was one of my worst times. Of course, I have my worst time, but that was one of my worst times. And I didn't have a fallback. So now I've learned all these things. I'm like, okay, if this happens, and I'm patient, that is the beauty. I am patient. Right now, them days I could not go into something where I know that I'll benefit in 5 years or 6 years. I wouldn't, because that was really long time. How can you be patient for all that time? But right now, when someone tells me, Anderson, we can do this and in 5 years we could get this, I can be patient because now I've seen time fly. So time, and we all share equal time. So now I've seen it fly. So now I give time value. And I notice that it is the biggest asset every person in the world has, because we all share it equally. The richest people have 24 hours. We also have 24 hours. So how we use them, it is equal opportunity. Yeah. We all have, and remember, time is the best asset. There are people planting, and at the given time, they will have to harvest. You get the point. So we have time. So how have you used your time? With this AI generation, the bad thing, we can be on phone scrolling. I've seen it on myself. Sometimes I can scroll the entire day, and I'm like, what? That's why whenever I feel like I've scrolled a lot, I'm like, no, at least let me make a video. Even if it won't make sense, at least let me post a video. Why is it that I'll be consuming more and producing less? So even if, like now, because I know at night we are going to be busy again, we are going to be on another live stream. But I'm like, no, at least let me take an hour. If I've used 10 hours just scrolling, at least let me use an hour or 2 hours to also create, whether someone watches or not, but at least let me leave it there in the archive. And the beauty with where now I do my lives here on YouTube, this year in Uganda, is that each time I do, analytics would show that you did this, this number of people watched, and they will give me the people who watch, which country they watched in from. They would give you all those analytics. So I'm like, instead of non-producing, now by the time I started keeping up, yeah, and saying every day I'm going to be doing a live, my watch hours have really increased. I add on like 10 hours every day. Can you imagine? 10 hours every day. So I'm like, no, I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to do it every day. If these hours get to a point where I like, you will see changes. You will see changes. We are building this gazebo of hours. This thing has to be looking nice. We are supposed to be working from here at night, by the way. We are supposed to be working from here. This gazebo is kinda, it is like so. Let me show you. You see how it is? Yeah, this is how it is. So at night, uh, this will be our set. We'll always be coming here. Of course, here will be covered. Here will be covered. We'll be having some light here, and then having the other view. I like the other view so much. So this gazebo will be okay. But someone wouldn't know that by the time they are seeing the gazebo, it was sometime I was here and planning for it, and I was willing to give it a year. A year. As I'm getting those hours at a given point, I'll tell you why I need them. So someone would think maybe this happened overnight, and because maybe they could have even more money, someone will just say, you know what, I have the money, I have 10 million with me, I want to build that kind of a gazebo. They go buy, do, but they don't have a dream. And you have to have a plan. Now, me, this is my last, how should I call it? This is my ultimate goal. Ultimate. Ultimate. So now it is in plan. And the things I talk about, I learned, as I told you, when I was in that period when things were not working out good, when everyone left. So now I'm used, even if someone comes and they're like, yeah, this is good, blah, 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 blah. No. They cannot move me, because now I've learned that, people would be there when you're doing good and they will live in it. So that's why it's important. You do your things at your pace. And every day you do something, it is one step in front. It is one step in front. Each day it is one step in front. So each day you notice that no one is coming to save us. No one is going to help you. Even your parents will disappoint you. Even your sisters and brothers, they will disappoint. And you'll be in this thing alone. And because you're also a grown-up ass, it doesn't matter. It is your survival. It is your survival. So it is up to you. It is up to you. And in this AI generation, just like how I call it, I told you, most of the times we are scrolling like this. Before you know it, it is 6 in the evening and you did totally nothing. So you do the same thing today and tomorrow. Remember, we all have 24 hours. So how you prepare or what you do in your 24 hours, it's all up to you. You use it wrongly. Yeah, and of course, they always say the end justifies the means. That is very true. The end always justifies the means. I'm telling you, that is true 100%. You cannot tell me you will wake up one day and you're harvesting maize and beans and you're harvesting bananas, which you didn't plant. It's impossible. You have to have planted first and then you harvest. It is impossible. So you cannot tell me you've been, because every day is a step to what we want to get in life. We could not be there yet, but at least me, sometimes I tell my friends that even if you've just thought about something, it's a plus. The mere fact that, this gazebo, like the way how I want it, it is a little bit messy, you see, but the mere fact that I thought about it, you see, those are Tyler's uniform I washed. So the mere fact that I thought about this gazebo, and I'm like, no, I want this gazebo. I want this side to be like this. The mere fact that I thought about it, yes, it is not yet where I want it to be. Yes, but at least I had the thought and I did something. Yeah. So the mere fact that I did something, yeah. So it's not like we are supposed to have all the capital that we need. We need some money. If you don't have the money will come. There is nothing as beautiful as money coming, and when you know what you have to do with it. Yeah. Someone will give you like, not even someone, let's not believe in miracles. I don't want to believe in miracles, even when they can happen. But if you take your life to believe like someday someone will come, you meet a girl, you meet a rich man, and then you get married, and then they love you like in the movies, those things can't happen. You have to have had a plan also. So if you have a plan, even if you just want to go abroad to work, yeah, as long as you're having it in your head, that is number one. So whatever happens, if someone comes and they're like, man, I have a deal, we can go abroad, you just jump on it because you've been thinking about it and it was in your plan. It was in your plan and you are thinking about it. So it becomes way easier. So it's not like we have to have the money. No, even if you don't have the money, but as long as it is here. One thing I noticed, yes, we are human beings. We have hands, we have legs. But let me tell you, your brain is your number one asset too. If you use it perfectly, let me tell you, there is nothing impossible. If you use it wrongly, just like how I always tell you, like, what you feed your brain is basically what comes out of you. If right now I'm seated here and I'm thinking of having a girl and, want to have intercourse, and that's what I'm thinking about right now, let me tell you, those are some minutes gone with my life because I want to get a girl, you know? So I will start planning. How am I going to get her? Where am I supposed to meet her? What am I supposed to do? So you see, that is time gone. And definitely give it time. You will definitely have a girl. You will definitely have one. So what you put your mind to is basically what is going to happen. So being intentional to what you put your mind to is also very important. It doesn't matter. Me, when I learned that when I was in my hardest times, I started valuing those things and I value them. And I go into what we call a slow life, slow living, no hurry, no hurry. We are going slowly, slowly at our pace. No one is chasing us. No, we move at our pace, slowly by slowly by slowly, and you'll definitely go there. That's what we call the foundation. There are people that remember a guy I told you about in the village. They had taken time minus meeting each other. So one of the friends went to the village, met his drunkard friend, and gave the guy 50,000 Ugandan shilling. 50,000 Ugandan shilling, but the guy had taken like years minus having 50,000 all together at once. So the friend gave him 50,000 minus knowing that is too much. The guy disappeared before they knew it. The guy was going to die. He went because he was taking alcohol, and the kind of alcohol they buy, 500 can kill you. So the guy went, he's having 50,000. The guy was going to die. Why? Because they gave him the money he cannot handle. He couldn't handle it. So be careful what just drops like what. But now you imagine you have been prepared, you go through all those phases. By the time 100 million comes, it doesn't scare you. Me, there are times when really a million was a lot of money. I was at that time and I was, wow, a million. It was a lot of money. Not until I reached something and now 5M was really money, but not really serious money. Then I reached a time when 10 million is money, but it's not really that money. So now God can entrust you with more because now He knows if Anderson, I got 50 million, I wouldn't be excited. I swear. The way you see me here, I will be here and I will talk and I'll have 100 million in the house. But because I know it's not even enough for what I want to use it for, it's not even enough. Truthfully, it's not even enough. Not even in a quarter of what I need. So immediately as I get it, it is all going, and I've not even bought a cap or even shoes. But again, someone who is not yet prepared will get 100,000 and they'll be crazy. They'll be looking for the girl next. They get 100,000 tap. They want to get a girl. They want to go to a bar. They want to go to a beach. They want to, oh my goodness, that's the budget of 100,000. So the foundation is always very important. And in foundation, when you're building, when they are building a foundation of anything, it doesn't show. It doesn't show foundation. They dig down there. They put stones. They put things just disappear. You don't see any change, but change is happening. You don't see, that's why foundation is simple. You don't see flowers. You don't see, you don't see anything. Everything is buried. Everything you just bury. You bury when they're building a foundation, you just bury everything. You bury in the ground. That some people use too much money. Now, like for us, we are on the hill, yeah? This hill, there are guys, yeah? Now there is a guy the other side. But if I tell you how much they spend doing the foundation there, then the foundation here, then there is another house, the foundation there, you'll get surprised. The guys are using too much money. But if you ask them where is that money, it is, you can't see anything because it is the foundation. So it is the same in life. When we are building the foundation, they will not see anything. It is when now it has germinated and it is out there for everyone to see, like now the building is done and everyone can see. But when you're there doing the hard work, and of course the foundation minus the strong foundation, there is no way you're going to have that strong building stand. It's impossible. No, no. So what you do with yourself is like the foundation. You have to have character. You have to have discipline. You got to have a lot of things. And those you do minus anyone seeing. You do minus anyone seeing. They are not seeing any change because it's the foundation. And when the foundation is done and now the results have started showing, then they will be like, wow. Then someone will come and they're like, I want that. But they don't know what was happening behind scenes when they were doing the foundation. Like most of the people love houses on hills. Houses on hills, by the way, are beautiful. But people don't know what people go through to do the foundation. The foundation is one of the most important things. One of the most important things when they are building. So in every aspect of life, because now I've seen people, because I love streaming so much, I've seen people start. I've seen a lot of them start. I've seen them, I've been following them, and now where they are, I'm like, wow, good job. But now someone will come, but me, I know what they went through because I watched them over the years. Over the years. Now they are making it, and you cannot just wake up early in the morning and you're going to be like them. You have to have a foundation. You got to have a foundation. Things just don't happen. So that's why it is very bad, yeah, if people are handed things just. I don't want things to be handed over to me because there is no system. So even if someone gave me, because you imagine, now if someone came and gave me blessing, you imagine someone came and gave me a hammer, yeah, a hammer car, or gave me a Lamborghini, or gave me, really. Now, how much would be the fuel for this hammer? If it takes $1 million fuel, if it takes $1 million a day, where will I get this million to fuel this car? Seriously, where will I get the million? Where will I get the million? So you've given me a car of $1 million, where I'm supposed to fuel it every day. It uses $1 million. That means a week it might take 7 million. Where am I going to get that money? Huh? Huh? Where am I going to? No, 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 no. Now you see, that is the problem of being hand over things. If they've just given you, it is crazy. I don't want to be given things I cannot handle. But now, if you have had these, by the way, Tyler's uniform, I washed only them. So tomorrow, that's when I will wash all the clothes, which some time I must wash it. So at the end of the day, being handed over stuff and you've not made the system to maintain them is useless. Is useless. It's like someone coming and they give you food every day. They feed you, but just in case they leave you for a day, you can't feed your soul. So in the first time, why are you giving it to me? You're creating a dependent person. And I don't want to be a dependent person. I want to be independent and not a dependent. So giving me food, you rather giving me food, you rather teach me how to make it, and I get my own food. So there, that would have helped. So that friend of mine, by the way, I told you about, the one I told you, and I told you like, uh, and I told you that, I always also watch here to see what is going on, to see if the stream is nice. So looking here, I can see everything is nice. So at the end of the day, that friend of mine, I told him that even if they gave you rent today, yeah, you will have it. You'll have the rent today. But again, there is tomorrow. There is tomorrow. That's one of the main reasons, by the way, as most of the people felt bad, why I changed the kind of content we do. And they felt bad. They were like, no, 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 Anderson, why did you do such a kind of a thing? No, because now what I wanted was to build a system. I wanted a system whereby I can now survive minus anyone. So there was no way I was going to stick on those things. No, 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 no. I had played my part. So we had to change. We had to change. So when the system is there, then there I know I'm good. I know I'm good. And when these things come in where now you have a son, blah, 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 it becomes really tricky. So that's why me building something, I can build something even for a year or two. Because now I've seen that time really flies so fast. Time really flies. Most of the people always think that, doing that, it will take time. Yeah, give it time. Before you know it, they are going to tell you you're 30 and you'll be like, what? I'm 30? Yeah, you're 30. So time, hey, yeah, time really, really flies. That's one thing I've learned. Time really flies. So me, there is nothing that someone can tell me and be like, that will take long time. No, 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 no. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. What I know is time will definitely move. So how I survived my mental health was one of those things I worked on. I tuned myself and I got to discover if I don't save myself, no one is coming to save me. That was crucial. I started to learn now, if no one is coming to save me, how am I going to do it? Then I started creating strategies of how can I do it minus anyone's help. I am not there yet, but I'm not where I used to be. You get? So I trained my mind. I trained my mind, by the way, so much, and for a very long period of time. 3 years, 3 years, that's a long time, man. Now, I'm in the fourth, now I'm in one, imagine 3 years, I'm working on my mentor. Yeah, training my mind for 3 years. After training my mind, I told you right now, there's nothing that can happen to me in the world that can scare me. The only thing that can scare me is losing my kid. But even if I lose my kid, it wouldn't move me an inch because I trained my mind. If I say someone feel like, that is really aggressive. Yeah, because I trained my mind for 3 years. Like nothing can happen to me and it could break me down. Nothing. So now after that, now I'm having 1 year of building a system to survive. 1 year, again, I gave myself 1 year. It was 2026. So in 2026, I started media there. That's when I started. So now I'm having 2026, 2027 media. Now I'm building a system. Do you see? That is really very scary. If you tell it to someone, some people are not patient. They'll be like, no, me, I cannot wait for that long. Yes. But guess what is going to happen? If it works out, and which definitely always works out, it works out forever. It works out forever. Done deal. Done deal. Do you know what it means? I keep telling my friend that, you know why people are broke? People are broke because they are looking for today's food. And because we are looking for today's meal, because it's always from hand to mouth. So even when the opportunities are there for us to make it, but if it's going to take time, we don't want to be patient. 3 years, I'm training my mind. Now I've added on another year. Those are 4 years, boss. 4 years of doing totally nothing. Of doing totally nothing. But now, those are they help as the foundation that right now, because I'm having such kind of a mentality that you cannot just wake up early in the morning and build. No. So if someone else comes in and when the system now started working, they would think it is that possible, but they don't know about you training yourself mentally, building the system for a year. They don't know all that. So they will think where they found you also just woke up and did that. And when it is not basically true, when it is not really true, you had to go through a lot in between there to build that system. So when that system works out and I beat the system, oh, it will be game over. Game over. Game over. It will be game over. That will be the best thing because now there you will know I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. But who is willing to be patient? Most of these girls want to get guys who have made it in life. Yeah, I know. Everyone, just like how I told you, everyone wants to associate with a winning team. But are they willing to give in time? Hmm? Are they willing to give in that time to be patient? Most people don't want to be patient. They don't want to be patient. They want things to just work like magic. Pa 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 pa. Done. Are you really sure? Now I'm going to be telling you a story about this man here. This man here, when he came through, oh, okay. Sisi, you first come. Sisi, first come here. Sisi, Sisi, mm. Sisi. We got Sisi here, but Sisi, Sisi. Sisi, Sisi, Sisi. We got this man here. We showered him yesterday. Very, very clean. I think it was yesterday, but one. We showered him clean. But now look at the foot. Because it rained, he came out with these other boys. They started playing in mud. Look there, playing in mud. And he was eating food. Everything was going here. Now he's not. He's just adopting. I hope you will adopt, but very stubborn thing. So Sisi, so guys, I think we are going to be calling it a wrap. Yeah, we are going to call it a wrap. Of course, at night we're going to be at Governor AC Podcast. We'll be having some chats there. I always come. Today is a Sunday. Tomorrow is a Monday. The beautiful thing, I cooked for Tyler. We cooked meat and rice and smashed potatoes. Yeah. That's what we ate. It was really lovely. Then we made, then I had to wash. I washed only his uniform because I was tired. I had to clean the house. So for him, for school tomorrow, he's sorted. So tomorrow, that's when I'm going to be washing like everything tomorrow. So after that, I'll be having a rest. Every day I do a video. Every day I have to do a video. So that's the foundation that people don't know. That's why, guys, I always tell you, it is very good to be persistent, man. It is very good. There is nothing more rewarding than being persistent. If you are persistent at what you do, hmm, I'm telling you, nothing can fail. You cannot do the same thing for years and still things fail. It's impossible. It's impossible. You do the same thing. You do the same thing today, the next day, the next day, the next day. You're doing the same things and things fail. It's impossible. It's impossible. Techisoboka. Things definitely work. Some people are just not being patient. Even girls are not patient. Even girls, they want to get to someone who is made it already. It becomes very easy for them, yeah? You go to someone and they already did everything. Initially, by the way, at first, I don't know if I've told you this story. I don't know for the people whether you've been following or not. At first, when I was growing up, I used to have a cousin called Deborah, and we could have chats, and I could tell her that I used to tell Deborah, like, when I grow up, yeah, I want to get a girlfriend. When I get a girlfriend, I want us to build the future together, you know. And she was like, okay, but of course we were still kids. By then, I think I was in the medical school, and I could tell her, I want her to get her. We build the future together. We do our businesses together. With the kind of girl that I would have gotten, I was saying my girlfriend just in case I get. Then the more I grew up, I was seeing things that weren't adding up. Then I reached the time and I'm like, you know what? No, I think it is very good for someone. A man should get married when he has worked on his life, and the girl should just come in this man's life when everything is sorted for her. Yeah. Some women love it, but the women don't know the disadvantages that come with that. Let me tell you, when you get to a man who has worked out his life, yeah, when you get into his life, you're just like any other thing. There are a few who will give you that respect as a girl, yeah. There are a few guys who will give you that respect as a girl when you found a man who is already made. And women love guys who are already made. But let me tell you, it comes with some disadvantages because by the time you came, I had already sorted out my life. So you're not adding any value to me. So you don't have the moral authority for you to stand and you start telling a man what to do or not what to do. You don't have the moral authority because he has hustled his way where he is. So right now you cannot come in his life and you're telling him what to do with his life. You can't. But if you have been with this man, yeah, and you went to school together, when you are done with school, then you went together looking for jobs, then maybe you rent your first house and you've been with this man. There is that feel of it's been us together. You get the point. It's been us together. So you're given that credit. So this man would not really take you for granted because you've been there all the way. But now, even when good things start happening, this man will be giving you the due respect you deserve. Some men change, but now if you get a man who is self-made, my dear, just know when he was in his hard times, you were not there. So now that he has cleared his life, when you come through his life, he's a little bit dependent. He's independent. So you cannot come and start giving instructions, do this, do this, because he's been there alone and done it alone. He doesn't, he feels like even if you're not there, he will still survive because he has survived even when you're not there. You get the point? So it is very crucial. Either way, when I was growing up, I loved it. I wanted, we be together with this person we build, but I noticed I don't want to be with someone and they give me instructions. More so, if you've gone through these phases, yeah, if you've gone through those phases, you feel like, no, 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 no. You reach a time that now you feel like you want to do the things you want to do, minus anyone's. So this girl comes in your life and then they are telling you what to do. So I don't advise it. Either way, it is a win-win. If a girl gets someone and they build together, that is beautiful. You stand an advantage. A man will stand a disadvantage when you build together. A man will be on an advantage when he's already mad and the girl just comes in the picture. Even the girl will give you more respect because each time they mess up, they know they can leave. Just like how they came, they can leave. Not answerable to anyone. So I learned those things when I was growing up. A lot of things I've really learned. A lot. By the way, today has been a surprise. Tyler is always disturbing me. So today, he happened to go there to play. So when he went there to play, I was like, cool, let me do my live. So now he's been there for almost an hour. So that has helped. If he was here, he's banging, he's jumping, he's doing everything crazy. So now he's not around. I got in time to be here. So guys, I'm going to be calling it a wrap. Thank you very much for chilling out with me. If you like the video, you can go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button. Each time I come to you, among the first people to be watching. So we are going to be calling it a wrap for now. Okay. We are going to be calling it a wrap. And for the people who watch when the videos are done, you are the best. Yeah, I noticed there are some people who watch when we are done and then you come and watch. You do a great job. That is very beautiful. For the people who watch when the videos are done, and if you watch the entire video, you're doing me justice. That is very beautiful. Yeah, so I think we are going to be calling it a wrap for now. We've been here for 1 hour and 22 minutes. Oh my goodness, that's long. Maximum was 6, which is good. Yeah, so unless otherwise, at night we'll be using this camera. There's a camera we use, but during this, sometimes I just use, let me see, there's that thing moving. I just use my phone. Yeah. Oh, it has buffered. Why has it buffered? Internet has gone up. Yeah. So I always monitor myself on this other computer. So I noticed it was buffering. Now it is okay. It is okay. That's where I monitor to see if everything is running smoothly. Then here I have an OBS when I'm working, when using this microphone and the mixer, call it a sound card. I'm always using this one here. So here it is like this. Here it is this way. So guys, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night from wherever you are catching me from. Luce Andrew Anderson is my name. It's been beautiful having you here. We are going to chat again at around, I don't know if at night I'll come, but on Sunday I'm always on Governor AC podcast, and of course, they have some issues there. So I'll be there. So for now, I want to say thank you very, very much for watching. It's been very beautiful, very, very beautiful having you. So until when we catch up, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know, I didn't show you the food I made. I don't know if I can show you. I made meat, which is very beautiful. Let me show you the meat I made. See, this is meat. You see, Beautiful. You see, this is beef. I made that. Then I also made smashed. You see, this is mashed potato. Yeah. Then we made also some rice. But rice we didn't make today. It was for yesterday. Oh shit. Oh shit. Sorry about that. Eh, so I made this rice was for yesterday. The meat is here. You see? Self-made. Hey, yeah, you're joking. With smashed potatoes. See? Of course, I did the cooking myself. Then, of course, we had to take some. We made some. We made some fruits. We made some fruits yesterday, but now Tyler didn't eat. I don't know. Okay, he ate the watermelons. These ones, yeah, are yummy. Very, very yummy. And now they are cold. Eh? The watermelon was very, very nice. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Well, this thing is really nice. The watermelon was really good. Mm, 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 mm. For the people who are watching at night, I think you remember when Tyler was saying, I want pineapple. I want pineapple. And I told him he had already taken what? He had already taken the watermelon. So I told him to be patient. Mm, mm, mm. Very yummy, I should say. Very, very yummy. So guys, let me call it a wrap. I go tell Tyler to leave the neighbors. It's becoming late. The beauty is at least I've gotten time to record my stuff. 1 hour, 27 minutes. And we've been here. For the guys who have come in late, please, 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 in case you go and you watch the entire video from when we started, that will be very beautiful. Yeah. You watch, we do at least one live every day. Today we've made it during the reason being at night we are going to be on another live. So at least we've had this time. God willing, at night again we'll have another one. But people are so used of that one which we do at night from 8 to 10. Yeah. So I'm going to be calling it a wrap. Thank you very much. I still remain Jose Andrew Anderson. If you love the content, please, you can go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button that each time we come through, you're among the first people to be watching. So until then, I want to say bless you.